I hosted my first sewing social. If you want to hear about how it went, stay tuned. Let's get into Friday Sews Episode 2, 2026. I'm not quite sure where to start, so I'm going to start by talking about my sewing social. I decided that I would host a social at a local community center in my county and just see how it went. Well, I advertised like a couple of months ago, and leading up to last Saturday, the 10th, January 10th, we had had beautiful weather, dry weather, and had several people that were interested in coming. And then the day of, or the night before, and the day of the event, it decided it was going to rain and rain and rain. I mean, it was so heavy, and we had flooding conditions in the county. And I had already spent all this money for food and the rental of the place. So I went ahead with it, and I did have a few people show up, 3 lovely ladies, and my mom and my sister came in to help me. So I appreciate both my mom and my sister for showing up, and the 3 ladies that came. And I know that most people probably didn't come because of the weather, and I did hear from a few of them that they had sickness in the family, so I completely understand that. But we had so much fun, and they did say that I could share photographs. I had my response when I posted for interest on Facebook, several people responded that they were beginner sewers, and so I created a tote bag kit for us to sew together. And I did a prototype. So let me show you my sample. This is my sample. And I found this beautiful upholstery fabric at Hobby Lobby. I ordered the webbing from a US company. And I don't remember, I want to say it's something like Country Designs or something like that. And used Quilting cotton for the inside, and did a pocket. So it's a lined tote bag. And I created for each outer fabric, which I had 2 outer fabrics to choose from, I had 2 different linings. So I had 4 possible kits that they could choose from. So this is what I created. And I ordered these shirt bags from Amazon. I even typed up instructions. So their kit included their outer fabric, a lining fabric, the webbing, and the instructions. And I also included a tag. And I didn't see it real handy on that one. Let's see if it shows up on this one. So this is my outer. This kit has this beautiful turquoise lining, the webbing instructions. And I have these Mountain Accent sewing labels that I had printed, and I include those. And then I also took a few extra labels that I had so they could pick another label if they wanted another label to choose from. So we had a lot of fun. One of the ladies had never even touched a sewing machine, and I had taken 2 of my machines, and so I helped her. And then of course she chatted with her neighbor, and we all kind of just sewed together and helped. I went around and helped each of them, and then they all completed a tote bag. And I'll insert a picture of them, and it was so nice to see how thrilled they were that they completed this project. Now, I did learn a lot from hosting the social, and they gave me some great feedback. I am going to host another one. So I didn't, I guess I overspent because I created a lot of tote bag kits, and I also spent way too much money on food because I was thinking there would be more people there. But of course, who can predict the weather? I mean, it was torrential rains, and yeah, like I said, I had flooding in the county, and it absolutely poured while we were there. I got soaked carrying in my stuff, but we had so much fun. And I want to. I don't know if they watch my channel or not, but I want to thank you if you are watching it, Sarah, Leanne, and Connie, for coming and for giving me the great feedback. Yeah, so it was a great learning experience, and I will host another one. And if you're interested in making a lined tote bag, I did upload a video this week, just a little quick tutorial on how to sew a lined tote bag. And let's talk about what else I've got going on. I am working on a sewing project. I am working on sewing a project with this beautiful viscose sateen fabric. I received it in one of my Beyond the Pink Door Think Pink subscription boxes. And I realized that I needed a loop turner. So I have this little narrow strip of fabric that I've got to turn to create a hanging loop and a couple of belt loops. And I didn't have a loop turner that would work for that. Normally I just use a safety pin for wider straps, but that one was so narrow that I ordered some loop turners from Amazon. So hopefully I can get that turned and get back to finishing that project. And before I move on to talk about the next thing, I want to say some thank yous and give some shout outs to some other channels. So, of course, I want to thank Jen at Today's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag Friday Sews. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Cynthia of Mountain Accent Sewing. My channel is mainly about sewing, but I do like to share hiking, fishing, and nature and other life bits. And yeah, I enjoy watching other sewers as well as other content creators. And I got a shout out from another channel, and I was thrilled. And thank you, Rebecca, at Sewing an Imperfect Life. Rebecca is in Australia. She lives in the Blue Mountains there, and I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains here in western North Carolina in the United States. And I thought that was kind of ironic that we're both in the Blue Mountains. But she shares a lot of sewing creativity. I love seeing her makes. She's got a fun personality, and I love a lot of the fabrics that she chooses and the colors. And it amazes me. I watched a video recently where she went thrifting and was showing their sewing shops that are like thrift stores. And I was just floored by the quantity and the quality of the finds that she could find of patterns and fabric and just all the notions. And so if you're not familiar with Rebecca at Sewing an Imperfect Life, please go check out her channel. And she also has a video on there showing the Blue Mountains and some of the trekking trails or hiking trails. And I found that very, very beautiful. And another sewist that has a YouTube channel that I'm just always amazed. She likes to thrift for fabrics and for patterns. And I'm always blown away about what she can find, because where I live, you don't find really nice things, or I haven't been able to find very nice things for sewing. But Caroline at Sweet Pea Sewing in Canada, if you're not familiar with her channel, I'm sure some of you follow her. We go check out her channel. And again, that's Caroline at Sweet Pea Sewing, and she's in Canada. So that's the two sewists that I want to give a shout out for. Go subscribe and help their channels grow. They're newer channels like mine. And if you haven't clicked subscribe to my channel, I'd love for you to subscribe and watch my channel and follow me on my sewing journey. The other thing that I wanted to share, and I'm going to share a little clip in here of a sewing tool that I received in one of my Beyond the Pink Door Think Pink boxes, and I can't remember if this came in last month's box or the month before, but I really love it. It's this little Prim tiny rotary cutter, and it folds up, and you wouldn't believe how handy this is, especially for cutting out like neck binding or arm cuffs, like the little ordinary strips, or like cutting out that small piece of fabric for my belt loops and that I still got to turn. This is what I use to cut that out with. It really gets around those small pieces very well. And so I'm going to insert like a little clip, if I haven't already, showing you, demonstrating how I use that. But thank you, Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door, for this lovely Prim gift. This is probably the handiest tool that I've received all of last year. And let's see what's coming next. I haven't forgotten my pattern review, and I was going to film that this week, and it was in the laundry. I did wear the Mirabelle blouse to my sewing social, so you'll see it in the pictures that I've shared, that I did wear it. I've wore it several times, and I've got that coming to you next week. And I also will have a video coming out very soon for the hashtag Fabric Wheel of Fate. So yeah, Carole at So Carole has already published her first video. So Carole at So Carole has posted her first video for her current Fabric Wheel of Fate, and I'm nearly ready. My husband has cut out my board. Still got to drill a hole and create a spinner. And I got to go in this wardrobe here and pull out 6 fabrics. That's how many places that I've got on here is for 6 fabrics. And I'm going to join in the Fabric Wheel of Fate. That's what's coming to you very soon. So first the Mirabelle blouse pattern review, and then my Fabric Wheel of Fate video. I'm so excited about joining this challenge several times during the year to help me sew my stash. Don't we all need to sew our stash more? I know I'll buy fabrics for projects when I might not have the fabric that I need, because I do like to try different things. I don't want to do the same thing over and over. Even if I repeat a pattern, I don't want to repeat it back to back. I want to have some other things thrown in. So yeah, I'm going to go through my stash and pull out 6 fabrics. And that is all that I have to share today. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing this video. And if you want to support my channel, like the video, comment, share, subscribe. And you can also leave me a tip on my Ko-fi account. I'll link that below. And I will see you in my next video.